Well, good evening, good evening. It's been a goodish sort of day. I've achieved some things and the weather has prevented me from achieving others. But earlier today I spoke a little about a goose and eggs and stuff. Now, one of you, who shall remain nameless, made an unkind suggestion about what could be done with a goose. And what I suspect you don't know is that geese are very important people in France. Very important. Anyway, I digress from what I was going to be doing tonight. I thought it was time to teach you all how to translate English into French. And some of you have got computers, and some of you have got Android jelly bones, and some of you have got old-fashioned dictionaries. One of the things that I use when I find a word that I really don't know is I'll use Google Translate. This is the lazy way of finding out what we should be saying. And, you know, what you do is you put what language you think you're speaking, or you can put auto-detect, so you can type a word in whatever language and the computer will say that's Greek or Arabic or whatever. But I've set this up so that we've got English and French. And I thought we could just have a little look how this goes. So, for example, he said holding the camera in one hand and typing with the other, which could lead to mistakes. Let us look for some interesting and useful phrases. I am, an. Where are? Oh dear, this is a finger exercise. Oh, look at that. Now, you might know how to say that, but if you don't know how to say that, you can click on this button.
I am an Iowan.
Shall we do that again?
I am an Iowan.
And then you come across and you click on that button.
Je suis originaire de l'Iowa. Je suis originaire de l'Iowa.
That could be a useful phrase for some of you. Or we could, for example, where are we? When you decide that you're actually going to come here and you want to know where the garage is that can service your car.
Model T Ford. Model T Ford.
They're useful phrases, aren't they? But let's think about the subject that we've been talking about today. Remembering that we are here in France, where things sometimes are a little bit different. So goose, not gooseberry. We don't want a gooseberry, we want a goose.
Goose.
And in French?
Oie. Goose. Oie. Goose. Oie.
Okay then. So let us look at what we might call a king. Now, how we end up with queen, because that's the feminine form of king, and this word here, which is the masculine. So let's...
Roi. Roi.
Have you all got that?
King. Roi.
Right. Now what happens if the king, being rich and powerful, has got a goose? We need to spell it properly in English.
The king's goose.
Did you get that?
Loi du roi. Loi du roi. Loi du roi.
Yeah, and thereby hangs a tale, because during the unpleasantness at the end of the 18th century and just starting into the start of the 19th century, the French had a way with their monarchs. But owing to having a deaf secretary, when the Revolutionary Council was protecting various people from the guillotine, the secretary got it wrong, and instead of writing down the king, she wrote the goose.
Loi du roi.
So we look after our geese, and we do not threaten to stuff them.